How's it going, everyone? Mega Master is back, and in this video, we are going to be going over Samurott. And Samurott is a Pokemon that I had one of my subscribers request for me to make a video on, so prepare to be amazed. Now, contrary to the fact that Samurott is in the NU tier along with Klinklang, this Pokemon is also severely underrated. I mean, if we can make it work with Klinklang, then we can definitely make it work with Samurott. So, without further ado, let's get into this epic as fuck video. So here it is, guys. Samurott. Definitely one of the coolest looking Pokemon ever made by Game Freak. Good job, Game Freak. Its design is pretty much flawless, but there are some notable flaws in my opinion with it. First off, the typing that it gets is water, which is a very good monotype, considering that you are only weak to grass and electric, and you resist fire, steel, water, and ice. But based on the design of this guy, it should have got something like maybe water and fighting, because this thing here is based off of a samurai and a sea lion combined. So it definitely would have made sense to give it something like a water and fighting type, and maybe give it something like Sacred Sword or Secret Sword or something like that. Then it would be a little bit more threatening, but we got to work with what we got for right now. As for its abilities, the first one it gets is known as Torrent, which is a pretty standard ability that all water-type starters get. When you're knocked down to about a third of your health, you end up getting a 50% power boost to your water-type moves, which could turn the tide in battle. So it's really good from an offensive standpoint. However, its hidden ability, known as Shell Armor, allows you to be shielded from critical hits, which is really good defensively if you plan on running a defensive set with this guy. And based on its stat layout, I think it could actually work. I'm going to see if I can come up with a set to make use of Samurott's pretty decent defenses. And speaking of defenses, here goes the stats. So it has 95 on the HP, 100 on the attack, that's pretty solid, 85 defense, 108 special attack. There we go, that's pretty nice. Its special defense and speed are both at 70, which aren't exactly the best, but they're not bad either. I mean, with the item Assault Vest, it can somewhat patch up its pretty low special defense if you're planning on running like a really bulky kind of spread for this guy. But that's just something that I want to share. So overall, it doesn't have bad stats. And not to mention, it also gets Swords Dance, which is a very nifty move that allows for you to boost your physical attack by 2 stages. So you better not underestimate Samurott, because it will slice and dice through the competition. So, with that being said, how about we move on to the first set? So with this first set here, you're going to be as offensively oriented as possible, and this is how it's done. So as for the item of choice, you can either go with Life Orb to allow you to have a 30% boost in all the power of your moves at the cost of 10% of your HP. You can go with Leftovers to have slight recovery of HP at the end of each turn, giving you a little more staying power. Or we can go with Assault Vest to boost your special defense by 1 stage, but locking you into attacking moves only. It's really up to you what you want. As for the ability, we will be going with Torrent, as it is the best ability for Samurott to have from an offensive standpoint. And I just want to point out that before I go any further, if you're going to be using Assault Vest in this set, do not use Swords Dance, because that is a non-attacking move and it will not work with Assault Vest. So, as for the EV spread, 4 is going to go into HP, 252 into attack, and 252 into speed, just to give you as much offensive capabilities as possible. And you can either go with the Jolly nature for more speed, or Adamant nature for more power. It's really up to you what you want. You want more speed or more power. As for the first move set, is the most important move, in my opinion. You can either go with Swords Dance or Aqua Jet. Swords Dance allows for you to boost your physical attack by 2 stages, and it goes good with Life Orb or Leftovers. However, if you were going to go with Assault Vest, then my recommendation is Aqua Jet, as it allows for you to have a base 40 power water type priority move, which is very nice to have. And considering that Samurott doesn't have the best speed, Aqua Jet is a pretty decent gift for Samurott. The next move that we have is Waterfall, as it is a very solid base 80 water type move on the physical side that has a 20% chance to flinch. So that is also pretty nice too. The next move slot that we have, you can either go with Mega Horn for insane bug type coverage, and it also lays a smackdown on the likes of Dark, Psychic, and Grass, which happens to be one of your weaknesses. So Mega Horn will definitely slaughter those types. Or we can go with Superpower if you want to have fighting type coverage, and fighting and water have really nice coverage together. It'll be really hard for you to wall this guy, unless of course you're in Azumarill, but I don't see this guy being used in OU anytime soon. Uh, it's sad but true. And the last move that we have is Knockoff. Knockoff is a very solid move for Samurott and got a huge buff this generation, being from base 20 to base 65 power, and the added bonus is that it gets a 50% boost in its power if your opponent happens to have a held item. So that is pretty epic. So this set, as you see here, has many different ways of using it. I will say that Choice Band can also work too if you are going to be uh, going full out offense, much like Assault Vest. Uh, Choice Band locks you into one move, but boosts your attack by one stage. Whereas Assault Vest allows for you to have freedom to switch between moves. You're just not allowed to use any non-attacking moves. As a bonus, it boosts your special defense by one stage. So, like I said, this set has many different ways of usage, and it looks pretty damn solid. I mean, I've tried it before, and it's pretty awesome. So this next move set is taking a more specially offensive approach with Samurott, and it's very solid. As for the item of choice, you can either go with Life Orb for a 30% boost in the power of your moves with 10% of your HP being taken away. You can go with Assault Vest to lock you into offensive moves only, but boost your special defense by 50%. Or we can go with Choice Specs to allow you to be locked into one move but boost your special attack by 50%. It's really up to you. You can't go wrong with any of these items of choice. As for the ability, once again, is going to be Torrent, as it is the best ability to have on an offensive Samurott. As for the EV spread, 4 is going to go into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed to give you as much offensive capabilities as possible. And you can either go with Timid or Modest. Timid for more speed, Modest for more power. It's really up to you and what you want. As for the first move, we'll be going with Hydro Pump, as it is the most powerful water type move that Samurott can learn. It has base 80 accuracy but 110 power, so it packs quite a punch. It does have a chance to miss, so please keep that in mind. The next move is Ice Beam. Ice Beam and Hydro Pump go very nice together, as Ice Beam deals heavy super effective damage to things like grass type Pokemon, which not only they resist water, but they also cause water type Pokemon heavy problems. Not to mention, it also takes care of dragon, ground, and flying type Pokemon, so that's just something to keep in mind. The next move that we have here, you can either go with Grass Knot for really good grass type coverage and give this set all around great coverage. You can go with Hidden Power Fire to destroy the likes of Ferroseed, Ferrothorn, Scizor, Fortress, and like any other Pokemon that would either resist Hydro Pump or Ice Beam. And the next move that you can use, if you don't like those two move choices, is Air Slash. Air Slash is a very unique move, as it has a 30% chance to flinch, and it also deals very nice flying type coverage too. And if you have a problem with fighting type Pokemon, well, guess what? Air Slash is gonna slash right through them basically. And the last move that we have is Scald. Scald is more for utility. It has a nice 30% chance to burn, and it has a reliable 80% power with 100% accuracy. So if you don't want a chance to miss with Hydro Pump, then go with Scald. Scald is just as good as Hydro Pump in different ways. It lacks power but has a 30% chance to burn, whereas Hydro Pump does not lack power but has no secondary effect and a chance to miss. So you can't go wrong either way, and this set also looks pretty damn threatening. So you know how earlier in the video I said that I would try to make use of Samurott's defensive capabilities as much as possible? Well, this right here is my absolute best attempt, so please bear with me. So the item for choice on Samurott is going to be leftovers to allow you to have passive recovery at the end of each turn. And as for the ability, we will be going with shell armor this time to shield you from critical hits, which can very easily take this set down. As for the EV spread, 252 is going to go in HP, 252 into physical defense, and 4 into speed. And depending on what you use as your last move slot is what you should use for your nature. Bold or Impish. Bold and Impish both raise the defense, while Bold lowers the attack and Impish lowers the special attack. So, like I said, pay close attention here because the last move slot should be totally dependent on what nature you use. The first move that we have here is Toxic, as it allows for you to put annoying walls and set up sweepers on a timer, and it worsens after every turn, which is always nice. The next move that we have is Sleep Talk, and Sleep Talk and Rest go very well together, which happens to be its third move slot, is Rest. And what this does is it allows for you to not only rest and recuperate all of your HP, but with Sleep Talk, it allows you to not be a total sitting duck, as it chooses one of the three moves at random. And I think that this move is more awesome than people give credit for. I mean, yeah, sure, Sleep Talk may work against you occasionally, but more often than not, it produces some pretty awesome results. So the last move slot that we have here is Scald or Dive. If you're going with Bold, go with Scald, as it is a special base 80 water type move. If you're going with Impish, then go with Dive. And like I said in the previous slide, Scald is a base 80 special type water move that has a 30% chance to burn, which is another pseudo way of inflicting status if Toxic doesn't work for you. Or, if you don't want to have conflicting stat inducers, then you can go with Dive, as if you Toxic your opponent and then Dive, it's like a Protect, because the first turn you hide underwater, and then the second turn you attack. So, you could, like, Dive, Rest, Sleep Talk, Dive, Rest, Sleep Talk, or something like that, and could cause some pretty awesome shenanigans. Dive is a base 80 water type move on the physical side, and it's also another highly underappreciated move. Although it doesn't have any solid secondary effects, this move definitely needs to be reviewed. So that's basically all I have to say about the set, and I've explained to the best of my abilities. I would recommend trying it out. I know I'm going to. So there you have it.